Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have any privacy at all. It's something that's been forgotten in the years of the game. But how did I came to the conclusion that privacy is probably one of the most forgotten thing in Final Fantasy XIV to the point of its complete dog shit? So this is the story of how I came up with this conclusion. One day I decided to check my friend list and see if one of my friends is playing Final Fantasy XIV, and I noticed that one of them was playing the game, and he's just about to get to Endwalker, and naturally I would just message him in Discord and to see how he is, what he's doing, how is he liking the story. But I had a other idea. I thought of how easy was it to find my friend without me actually telling him, and that's where this whole journey started. Also, the person I'm doing this to is a friend I knew for a very long time, so he will be completely fine for me to do something like this. And also, don't do this to a random person or even to a close friend. It's kind of weird, creepy, and I'm just a big giant idiot trying to do a weird experiment. And also, before we go into more depth into this and this whole system, might as well just say this now. Subscribe to the channel, please. First thing first, my friend is in a whole completely different data set. I am in Aether and he's in a whole completely different one, which I will keep anonymous. So I had to figure out a way to get to that data center. But luckily in the 6.x patch series, they added data center travel. So I could easily go to the data center he is in the world for this experiment to continue. Eventually, once all the transferring happened, I'm in his data center and world, and the only thing I have to do at the time is to look at my friend list and see which location he is at. But my luck thought that was too easy, because where he is at a home district, which means that he is in a random ward in a random plot. So for me to theoretically find him, I have to know which ward or plot that he is at. But there is actually one more info that I did know that I did get from my friend list, not only the location, but it also said that he was part of a free company. So hypothetically, that plot that he is in might be his free company. So the only thing I need to do is to look at the list of the ward and plot and link the free company to that plot, and I could find him that way. But I knew there was actually a faster way to find it other than that list, and that way was the Lodestone website, because the Lodestone website also have a player search type of feature where you could look up any player in Final Fantasy XIV. So I looked up my friend to see if I could see his free company here and click it. Surprisingly, yeah, you can. So I clicked that free company and I look at the page on that free company to see if there was any information that I could use, and surprisingly, yeah, it does. It tells me the exact ward and plot the free company is in. So theoretically I could go to that plot and say hi to my friend. Did I did that? No, because I think it would have just been more weird and even more creepy to go to a random free company and just to say hi to my friend, and that's all for a stupid goddamn experiment. So I just messaged my friend and told him everything that I've been up to, and he was cool with it. And after doing this goddamn whole weird experiment I have did, which is some people will consider stalking, which I would agree with them. So after this, I decided to do more research on all of this and see if anyone experienced this type of behavior from someone unsavory and a lot more harsher. And unfortunately, there has been people who have experienced things like this in the game. And on top of that, the system for Final Fantasy XIV doesn't really prevent it at all. For example, let's say if you try to remove someone from your friend list, it's actually one-sided. So it might have looked like you got rid of them in your friend list, but in their friend list, you're still on it. You're still attached to it, their account. So ideally, they still could see where you're at, what free company you are, and if you change your name in the game. So I decided to simulate this whole thing with a other friend. Remove you from my friend list.
How dare you?
You don't have to be so negative. You're gonna be at it anyways. Back.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Go to the friend list. Isn't that great? Isn't that fun that you could still see me? Again, isn't it great? And Also, blacklist doesn't work at all, so blocking doesn't remove them from your friend list. And yeah, there is also do not disturb, but again, that's just a band-aid fix. People could still find you, look where you are if they're especially on your friend list. It's just a disaster. Basically everything that you think you could that will remove them from your friend list doesn't. And I'm going to restate this again. That means they know when you're online, can teleport to your house, go to your island sanctuary if it's not privated, and know your location if they still have you on their friend list. But there is a way to remove both sides though, and that is to pay money to server transfer / world transfer to potentially remove someone from your friend list. Kind of stupid in my opinion. But of course, this is only a band-aid fix, because remember I mentioned the lodestone. You can't private that or hide your profile at all. So the person could just look you up and find you that way. And let's say if they already have your URL before and you decide to change your name, that doesn't matter because their URL stayed the same. So they could just put that in and find you that way. It kind of sucks that exists in the lodestone and kind of like a major oversight. And honestly, a lot of these fixes are relatively easy for them to do. It shouldn't take them that long. It should take them ideally like one patch, possibly only two, if they want to implement some of these suggestions I'm going to make, which I think should be in the base game already. The first one is friend list should be you unfriend someone should be both ways. They can't see it, they can't see me, because it should be a mutual thing. If I unfriend someone, there's a reason, because I don't feel like there's a mutual relationship anymore. Second, blacklist should completely void the whole character on your side, so you don't see that person, they cannot message you, anything like that. I think that is perfectly goddamn fine. There's a plugin that does that already in Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm kind of pissed that a plugin again does it before the goddamn dev team. And third is that the lodestone player shirts ideally shouldn't really exist at all. I haven't seen anyone use it or a reason for anyone to use the player lodestone. At minimum, they should just make it where you're allowed to hide your own account in the lodestone player shirt so no one can look it up. And I personally believe that any reasons why they don't change this system or anything like that is not valid in my opinion. I think the pros outweigh the cons heavily. Keeping your player base a lot more safe is, I think, very important and something that should be looked at no matter what, especially if there's people mentioning in online, on forums, Reddit, they're getting stuck and it's very uncomfortable to the point of sometimes they have to stop playing the game. To avoid it is not something that they should overlook. But if you're a person that is actually experiencing this in Final Fantasy XIV, do report it in the support doc. How to get there is you go to system, support doc, contact us, and click the report harassment option, and fill all of that out for the GM, and eventually they will get to it and the person might potentially get banned, especially if you keep on doing it. And if there's anything that I did miss about like this whole system, or if they did change something, please tell me. But again, I'm pretty sure that this is how it works and it kind of sucks. But that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope all you have a wonderful day, and see ya.